Okay, I'm going to give this a try because I've done it slightly different to what I normally do, but what's normal these days. As it is at the moment, it is Friday lunchtime, and I'm only a couple of days away from doing London Edinburgh London, which is very exciting. But at the same time, slight trepidation because of what's is in store. So, um, current thing at the moment is I'm getting everything sorted. This last week has been a week where I've mainly done tapering. In other words, I've been lazy. I haven't done much. I've eaten a lot, but I haven't really cycled much. I did some work on the bike. There was a couple of fixes that I needed to do. That was to do with the drivetrain after the long distance one a couple of weeks ago. Fixed that. Bike is running perfectly sweet. Well, I thought it was at least. Anyway, it was running really, really well. So the things like the chain that need replacement, I put it on official components, and all the rest of it works brilliantly. So on Tuesday, as my kind of like the last bits before tapering, I took out the bike and went out on to do a really nice 70k ride, pretty much getting lost in the roads, pulling off bits and pieces that I hadn't done areas I hadn't visited before, which is in the local surrounding area rather than going far afield, kind of like staying local, which is really cool. Other things that happened over the week, I suppose that one of the big exciting things is transcontinental races kicked off. Seeing what's happening with those teams going across Europe, that is mega inspiring. But one day. So that's what's going on, and then this week it's been the slight kind of trying to anticipation and apprehension about, have I got the right equipment, have I got the right stuff, have I packed the right things into the right bags, am I drop bag in the right spots, having a read of some of the Facebook page about all the different people who's got different ideas, all that kind of stuff. Part of my mindset is I do me. What might work for somebody else doesn't necessarily work for me, and vice versa. So there we go. I think I've got everything sorted, apart from the slight curveball which has come with there's going to be a storm which is going to come across on Monday. So the Met Office has issued a warning for high winds, etc., which is going to hit on sometime on Monday. Storm Floris, I think it's called, is coming across Atlantic at the moment. My start time is 5:45 in the morning in London, which means that I've got maybe 30 odd hours of riding before it gets really into the storm part of it. I could be Yadmos or that kind of area, maybe Richmond. I don't know. I tried to put in a number into a calculator and see what it came up with, and it kind of just gave a vague reply. So I'm riding it as I would do anyway. Modification I might make is I'm going to look at putting mud guards onto the bike, just because it's more friendly to everybody else, and it might save my mentality or dry my feet for a bit longer. That's the modification I am looking at possibly making in the next few hours, or at least take them with me and then do that. Everything else, I think I'm all right. I think this third time of doing this, so I know what to expect. It never takes away the anticipation and how you can never predict how this is going to occur, how this is going to plan out. With the winds and the rest of it, they're going to hit us. The time frames can go out by hours. Equally, if I end up going, well, if it hadn't been for the wind, I would have carried on going through, and I've got slower and slower because I've got ground down kind of thing. I actually might get to the point where I actually have to stop because of the wind, have sleep, come back more refreshed, and by the time the wind's dropped, I'm in a better state than I would have been if I just carried on grinding through it. So parts of that is swirling around my mind. Other bits and pieces, normally, well, last time I did this, I used some city shoes which I've been using on my better bikes for a lot of rides. This year, however, I've been mainly riding in my cheap shoes. These are shoes that I got from a closing down sale kind of thing. Got them really cheap, like 20 quid or something. But they're comfy, they've been on my feet for the past year. I've done most of my long distance stuff on there. It's laces, so they've got adaptability rather than just the ratchet system. I'm going to use those instead. So £150 pair of shoes or a £20 pair of shoes. The £20 pair of shoes at this point is actually winning out, so I'm likely to take them. Other bits and pieces, I think most of it is going well. It is just what's 5 days going to bring? It's going to be an adventure. It's going to bring lots of different opportunities. It's going to bring lots of different memories. It could be anything from the joy of riding through the flats of the fens with a tailwind, dead easy, just coast through the whole lot. At the same time, it can be you're on Yadmos with the wind flying through your spokes at 50 mile an hour, and you end up hunkering down in a bus shelter, taking the brunt of the wind for a couple of hours, and you end up chatting with somebody you've never met before. There's so much variety and different things that can occur on this ride over the course of the 5 days. That there's no way of anticipating it. I can't anticipate it. What I can do though is I can make sure I've got the right kit in the right bag. I can make sure that I've got fresh stuff at the right locations. This year I think I have been slightly more, not casual about it, but kind of slightly less antsy about have I got this exact product in this exact place and this kind of like minute detail, because I know that once you get riding, you settle in. you make do and you mend. All those niggles that are in your head, once I've set off, give it a couple of hours going up the Lee Valley, going up towards the outskirts of London and going off towards Ware and that lot. By the time I get into towards that Cambridgeshire area, a lot of those nagging thoughts in your head will settle. They will go. By the time I've been through a couple of checkpoints and I've gone through the food cycles of, I've gone in, I've had food, I've replenished, I've checked my phone, I've checked everything's all right, and I know how far it is to the next stage. Once you go through that routine of it, it settles, and then it can be phases through the next few days, but effectively you can just keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going because you get into the routine of it. There's parts that I'm really looking forward to, that really looking forward to. Riding across part of Lincolnshire a few weeks ago, it reminded me of, there was one point, I think it was 2017, going up through the fens, and I was with some people from Hong Kong. I was riding in the dark. There's very little light pollution around that area, which meant the sky was just a carpet of stars. And it was, for somebody in the UK, it's brilliant because it's the dark skies, you get to see the stars and all the rest of it. I'm away from the city populations and all the rest of it. But for somebody who came from Hong Kong, who lives in a very dense city with a lot of light pollution, for them to see it, they were just blown away by it. So those kind of recollections, those bits that I'm looking forward to again this year, and also things like the stream of lights. You get to the point where there's certain roads where you know that there's long straight roads in the dark. You'll be riding along and you'll see the chain of little red lights going ahead, and it's like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning some of these nights, and it's kind of like, you know that every single one of those little red lights is another rider doing the event that you are doing, and they have all got their own little world going on, and they're all going to the same location, the same point as you are going to. And it's almost like a rolling community, a bubble of life that's going through the UK, but separate to life in the UK. That's the best way of describing it, and that's what I'm really looking forward to. Looking forward to the interactions, the people at the checkpoints. There was the fella that was on the way back down south, I recall, that was a fella with dreadlocks in one of the checkpoints. It was in Cambridgeshire, and he's just happy, whistling and happy and singing all the time we were around. He was collecting the trash from the bin, so he was a volunteer, but absolutely loved just that little snapshot of him. He was happy. We were happy, so it was kind of great doing that. So I've got no idea how it's going to go. I'm going to probably see weather alerts appearing on my Garmin saying weather warning coming across, all that crap. So it's just kind of like, be sensible. I look forward to it. So this is my update from last time, and kind of like probably doing an update from my shed before LEL. If I get to post something which is from the start line or from when we're in London, I will do. If not, it'll be sometime after LEL. And we'll see how everybody else got on. I'm looking forward to meeting other people. I'm looking forward to hearing about how other people have gone their route to get to where they are. Some of the crazy bikes that we'll see, because I'm sure there's going to be people who are going to be on recumbents, there's going to be people on molten bikes, there's going to be people on everything, and how they get on. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be epic. It's going to be great fun. So if you're one of the LEL riders, LD16 is my rider number, and I look forward to riding along with you all, and I look forward to meeting all the volunteers as well who are going to be manning the checkpoints. And yeah, that's going to be exciting. I'll do an update at some point when I get back. I think it's going to be the Wednesday after the event kind of thing. I think it'll be off over record something. I'll do it that way. There you go. I'm very sorry that if this video pops in and out of focus. I'm trying it on a webcam, which I haven't used before. I used it on my phone, but I'll use it that way. Okay. And on to just a 5-day ride.